in lagging terms, that will serve as a tailwind for equities. So, pwedeng mangyari dyan, you have liquidity injections from the reverse repo facility balancing out the stress coming from your DXY, your US 10-year yields na tightening yung effect niya no, for financial conditions. So, binabalance out niya lang yan. So, depende yan. Actually, looking at the indices, no, our main indices, we can conclude that parang nagbabalance out nga actually na dapat itong mga gantong rally from the DXY, the 10-year yields, medyo ano na yan eh, dapat slam dunk na yan eh. Slam dunk pullback na yan eh for me. Sige, I think we can already start, no? So, good evening, no? Mike, good evening to everyone who will watch this video. So, today is March 19, 2024, the 12th week of this trading year. So, it is a Tuesday. And, ayun, dating gawe, in this video, we will do our pre-market prep. We will look at the markets from a top-down perspective and from a bottom-up perspective. As well as, we will discuss yung mga current macro developments, no? Like, didiscuss ko yung current developments sa Japan, sa Bank of Japan, ginawa ng Bank of Japan, as well as yung mga liquidity benchmarks natin and whatnot. Titignan natin yung mga money flows to from that area. So, starting with the SPY, no? Actually, good price action yesterday. So, wala tayong na-experience sa follow-through, sell-off. So, critical yung day yesterday. So, yung Friday kasi is a quad-witching day na madaming nag-expire na derivatives like stock index futures, options, pati single stock futures and options, no? So, madaming nag-expire nung Friday. So, usually kasi by backtest, through backtesting, usually kasi on Monday after sell-off day, no, on a Friday, may follow-through sell-off on Monday. In which right now, yesterday, the price action is quite good. No, nag-recover siya above the point of control, the 10-day point of control, and it bounced off dito sa MA20 natin, sa 20-day SMA. So, kung 21 EMA yan or 20 EMA, halos ikikiss niya lang yan. But, ayun, pinaka bottom line is it's just near the dynamic support, yung short-term dynamic support natin. In terms of RSI, meron lang tayo nakitang major red flag, no? So, this is a leading signal for a consolidation or a strong pullback. Yung break below this support trend line, yung plotted support trend line natin sa RSI, with respect to this uptrending channel. So, that's a leading signal for a sell-off or a long conso, no? A long base. So, if it does not manage to reclaim the RSI moving average, which is nandito sa area na yan, sa 65, we might experience a sideways or pwedeng mag-pullback tayo sa MA50. So, sige, next is our Qs. So, key levels pala muna, S&P 500. So, as long as hindi naman tayo close below this Friday low nung at 508, okay pa tayo. As long as it's above 20-day SMA, we're still good with the S&P 500. So, actually, yan yung value area low dito sa 10-day fixed range volume profile. Value area high is at 515. If it closes above or if it breaks above 515 or 516, we might experience another rally for the S&P 500. But looking at the macro later on, medyo low probability na mangyari yun. But, ayun, price action pa din. Price action pa din ang titignan natin talaga. Ang main deciding factor natin, not the macro benchmarks. So the Qs, same movement, nag-recover above MA20. But looking at the Qs, still below this support trend line of this uptrending channel after the breakout of the all-time high of this multi-year base or multi-year trading range since 2022. Still on an early stage markup, tong Qs natin. So far, looking good na nag-recover siya. Although, pre-market down 0.24, closing below or opening below this Monday low, nung previous day low. So, medyo, weak open. So, same with the equal weighted Qs. Halos same action but did not manage to close above MA20. So, same red flag. You have this break below this support trend line or this support area sa RSI. So a leading signal for a correction. So based on the equal weighted cues and our cues, we might experience a broad-based correction or a pause, uh, a base building phase muna no for our Nasdaq names. For our S&P 500 na equal weighted, same thing. Much more resilient than the Qs actually. Bounced off the 20-day SMA and way above this point of control. This point of control of this trading range. So ito yung ano niya, all-time high breakout nung Feb 22, 2024. Nag-rally yan. Then ito yung point of control natin right now, which is at 163 or sabihin na natin 164. So as long as it's above the point of control, that's a good sign that the buyers are still dominating this broad market in the S&P 500 names. So next, our MDY. So quickie lang din. Actually, still resilient, still on an all-time high or near all-time high levels, around 3% below lang the all-time high. Still on an early stage markup. Too early to tell for a market crash or whatever for mid-caps. As long as hindi niya nabibreak tong 528 area, which is this value area low, I think okay pa tong MDY natin, our mid-caps. So ito yung ano niya, yung trading range since the all-time high breakout nung Feb 22 as well. Slightly below the point of control, so showing some signs of neutrality with a bearish bias, no? Somewhat a bearish bias, but you have your MA20 uptrending, your key MA configurations are still good. Lahat in a good bullish configuration on a strong uptrend, primary uptrend configuration for our mid caps. For our small caps, actually the weakest dun sa main indices natin, sa main market indices natin. So below MA20 and still inside this trading range, etong accumulation range natin. So we can say that yung itong small caps natin is transitioning to a markup phase na 'di ba? Nag-try siya mag-breakout nung first week of March, but finade. So this is considered as a bull trap. You have trap buyers here na pwedeng kakat loss na or pwedeng naipit na dyan will serve as a strong overhead supply that magbe-break even sell sila dito sa 208, 207. So ayun no, same thing with the S&P 500, leading signal talaga tong support trend line breakdown, no. So that's small cap. So stay away from small caps for now. Mainly focus on S&P 500 and mid caps. So tech names, Qs, Nasdaq names, for me neutral muna, no. Medyo swabe lang muna, hindi ka muna para mag-over deploy sa Nasdaq names. So ito yung main indices natin, tapos na tayo dyan. So let's focus on the segments. So daily changes, you have S&P 500 growth yesterday, accelerating at 0.95%. Second is your core names. So nandyan yung mga Google. So yesterday nag-rally yung Google, actually Microsoft as well and Apple, no. So medyo decline ng onte yung Microsoft. So meron din tayo nun. Weekly changes, in terms of weekly changes, you have your S&P 500 growth still leading and your S&P 500 core, mga core names. So same configuration, same segment biases natin. Stay away from small caps, stay away from value names. Although pwede ka mag-position on value names, meron kang may onting advantage ka on positioning on value names since syempre magkakaroon ka din ng future rotations toward that area. If ever mag-correct yung market, no? But if the market reaccelerates, growth names and core names will still lead the markets, no? But medyo low probability for me based on our macro benchmarks. So if may questions kayo or if may questions ka, shoot mo lang, no? Sige, next is sector dashboard natin, yung spider sectors natin. So weekly changes, in terms of weekly changes, you have your energy leading and your communications also okay this trading week. So, good start for energy and communications. So, daily change yesterday for communications, 2%. Okay siya. So far, consumer staples also good yesterday and consumer discretionary. So, medyo stay away muna sa sa tech names talaga, no? Tech names and real estate names. So bakit? So yung real estate kasi medyo siya interest rate sensitive yung sector na yan. So knowing that multiple hawkish data yung na-release sa multiple hawkish economic data yung na-release, low probability magkaroon ng rate cut for June na rin eh. Medyo yun na yung nafe-feel ko or yun yung opinion ko and based on what we are seeing sa yield, sa DXY and even the commodity benchmarks natin like USOIL, copper, and yung DBC na ETF nag-rally na rin. So, most likely, lalabas ulit yung narrative na higher for longer or even, wag naman, no, rate hikes. So that's spider sectors. Focus on energy as always, materials. If you're gonna focus on swing and momentum plays, nandyan yung pera ngayon. Communication also good, no? Dahil din sa recent Nvidia conference yesterday. Yesterday ata or Sunday yun. So siya? Nag-spark siya ulit ng optimism on semiconductors and mainly yung mga software na related sa AI, no? So for our market groups, so property, casualty, insurance, leading our market groups. So way above siya lang actually along with your IPOs, natgas and energy names yung may magandang trend configuration. So yung iba diyan below MA10 na siya, below 10-day EMA, 10-day SMA. So in terms of daily changes, yesterday, you have a spike on cannabis. Weekly change, 28%. Cannabis names, MSOS. So hindi ko alam ano yung mga current news dyan. But I think another regulatory catalyst yung lumabas dyan for sure. So nandyan yung mga Kura, Riv, TSND. You can look at other cannabis names, no? So if ETF na lang MSOS, pwede na yan. Pwede mo naman bilhin yan eh. Pwede mo naman i-trade yan. So, blockchain, na-topple dito sa top 10 natin. Medyo bumagsak na siya sa top 10 natin. No? So, blockchain last week, nasa top 2, top 1 siya palagi for almost 3 weeks. No? Constantly, nandyan siya. Then, ngayon, showing some signs of decline or weakness. Dahil na rin sa natin, sa BTC USD P natin na below 70k na for the fifth day, no? Consecutive fifth day below 70k. No signs of recovery yet above 70k. So crucial area 'yon. Since round number area yung 70k. So for BTC USDT, as long as it's above 60k for me, okay pa siya. I'll consider this as a trading range. If it closes below 60k, baka price in na yung Bitcoin halving. So current headwinds din for blockchain is rising dollar and rising yields. So medyo reactive din yung blockchain name, yung mga blockchain natin dyan. Yung mga crypto names natin dyan. Okay, so oil and gas also good. IPO still strong. For almost 2 months na rin. 2 months, yung mga IPO names natin. Nandyan yung mga Coinbase, Roblox, ARM. Maganda rin. Hood, nandyan din. NXT, and Duolingo. So, actually, months ago, talagang ina-advocate ko na yan. Pinupush ko na sa inyo to trade IPO plays. Mga IPO-based plays, no? Like what we did on Hood and yung natin, Soundhound. So, if commodity plays naman focus on oil and gas. So online retail also doing good, still on the top 10, sustaining the top 10 and semicon medyo nag-decline lang ng onte, but gradual decrease lang unlike blockchain names na ang laki ng dinown. So other names na medyo interesting is China equities and internet names like Pindudu, PDD, and tama ba yung pronunciation ko? Hindi ko alam. Tsaka ano, tignan nga natin. Yun, Baidu. May mga setups ka dyan. Edu, maganda rin yung mga setups dyan. So, PDD, channel breakout, can look at that name. Gold miners, pwede magkaroon ka dyan ng ano, reacceleration sooner or later kasi malaki yung ano gap between the performance of gold and the performance of gold miners. So, nandyan yung NEM, and tignan na lang natin, no? So, if mag-continue yung rally with gold, pwede magkaroon ng ano, rally din on gold miners. Pwedeng sundan niya. So, nandyan yung NEM Gold, AEM, GFI, no? Or pwedeng mismong GDX na yung bilin mo, di ba? Yan. Pwedeng GDX na mismo yung bilin mo or Nugget if leveraged ETF. So, downtrend line breakout, pwede. GDX and Nugget. So, GLD, pwede. Kung yan talaga yung trip mo, gold na mismo. Gold proxy trade, directly, gold trust na yung bilin mo. Pwede naman bilhin yan. Pwede naman i-trade yan sa IBKR. So, that's gold miners. And yung bias natin for our market groups, no? Focus on oil and gas, focus on IPOs, online retail pwede rin. But may mga earnings significant earnings tayo for retail names and actually China names. PDD will release its earnings this Wednesday, tomorrow, no, March 20. You have FedEx for logistics, Nike for retail on Thursday. So pwedeng makaapekto 'yan sa mga retail names and for ano naman Semicon MU, no? MU this Wednesday din. So XPEV is an EV, China EV name. So to be released today, post-market ata. Ay hindi, pre-market or at the open. Tignan natin XPEV. Oh, tama. Ano, before market open to. So, ano siya? Di pa naman na-release yung earnings, but up na siya ng 2.85%. So, this is a possible square root short-term reversal pattern that you can trade. Pwede rin inversed, but bottom line, you have this accumulation structure, short-term accumulation structure na almost 2 months. 2-month base. 2-month accumulation base, no? So, if you're gonna trade this, pwedeng bato mo lang din papuntang MA100. That's a 2 to 1, 3 to 1 trade na high probability since meron ka ng balance flow toward EV name. So, money is flowing outward sa Tesla. So, madami nang umalis sa Tesla. Ngayon, capital is flowing toward China EV names. Dahil na rin sa plans na ni-reveal ni BYD, no? Yung leading China EV name. Although hindi siya publicly listed sa Nasdaq, no. I think ano lang siya, OTC, BYD, eto yan, OTC lang siya sa Nasdaq or somewhere. Hindi ko alam, no? So wala siya sa US pa, no. So pwede if China EV proxy trade eto XPEV, you have your NEO, I think also a China name, and limutan ko na isa eh. Limutan ko na. But yan yung mga main names natin. Rivian, I think US name, no? US name. But ayun, China EV. Focus on China EV. Another theme na you can watch. Sige, let's move forward dito sa natin, sa macro. So, starting with the DXY, medyo may significant movement tayo, no? So, breaking above MA100, so that's a clear risk of signal for equities, but we shall see since medyo may may liquidity injections tayo na experience. So, despite the dollar rising, baka mabalance out lang ng liquidity injections. So, this movement is brought to you by, BOJ. Yung BOJ is exiting negative interest rates. So, BOJ, interest rate decision, blah, blah, blah. So, for the first time in 17 years, they will do an interest rate hike, no? Interest rate hike. So ano ba yung implications noon for our market sa US equities? So starting with dun sa fact na mag-increase sila ng rates, 'di ba? So mag-increase sila ng rates sa ano nila, sa treasuries nila, sa bonds nila. So pwede maging effect niyan toward US treasuries is mag-decrease yung demand for US treasuries. Syempre, ayaw nila nung ano nung forex risk or forex swap risk. At the same time, if you have increasing yields sa local bonds mo, sa domestic bonds mo, syempre doon ka na lang, 'di ba? Syempre doon ka na lang. At the same time, if ganun yung mangyari for US Treasuries, a decrease in demand for US Treasuries, less buyers, it will increase your 10-year yields and other bond yields. So gets ba? So a decrease in treasury value will increase treasury yields. So right now nagte-take an effect na yan. Nag-ano na siya. Parang gumagalaw na actually yung US 10-year natin. Although hindi pa naman nagbe-breakout sa 4.33, 4.4 area. So yan yung critical area for me for the US 10-year bond yields or note yields. So 30-year, ganun din. May ano din, may increase in yields din. Same with your 2-year bond yields. So, serving as current headwinds yan for our equities. Yun yung bottom line, no? So, if talagang ang mangyari is mag-take effect yung decrease in demand for US treasuries and yung mga Japanese investors mo will decrease their bond buying, their foreign bond buying, their US treasury buying requirements or plans, that will affect your US 10-year. In effect, will affect your equities. So that's the bottom line. Wait lang medyo nagloloko tong ano ko. Yan. Sige, so tapos na tayo dito sa macro natin. Wait, di pa pala, no? US oil, sige. Medyo risk of signal din, no? So nag-breakout na rin sa 80 area, clear, full candle close above the $80 area. And breaking above this inverse head and shoulder accumulation structure, no, since November. So nag-hold yung 68 area. This is your big base. This is your big accumulation base. This is your mini accumulation inside the accumulation. Now transitioning to test your $92 area, no? Most likely. That's the high probability projection or high probability action, no, for US oil. So ano magiging effect niyan? Increasing oil, increasing US oil prices will in turn increase inflation. So higher inflation, higher for longer. Pwedeng ganun, 'di ba? Higher for longer. Pwede rin interest rate hikes. Hopefully hindi naman, 'di ba? Yun yung maging stance ng Fed. So we shall see actually, no? We shall see. May mga crude oil inventories din naman tayong to be released. So high impact news din 'yun. Pwede makaapekto sa US oil movement natin right now. So if it breaks below 78 or $77, no? Hopefully that's gonna be good. Hopefully mangyari 'yun, no? Yun yung ano natin, bull case natin for equities. If mangyari 'yun, that will serve as a tailwind for equities. If mag-break below 78 and even break below this support trend line. Good siya for inflation. So you have your copper also rallying, although nag-ano lang siya, nagpo-pullback lang today. So breaking out of this multi-month range din actually tong copper natin. So one of the most used ano din to, inflation markers natin din to, although hindi ko masyadong diniscuss sa inyo. USOIL lang sapat na, no? But ayun, looking at this multi-month range since June 2023, nag-breakout na siya dyan. And right now, you have this trend configuration that points us to a transition to an uptrend for copper. So medyo pangit 'yan for inflation. Lalo na ngayon, no? Tumataas yung demands for industrial materials since madaming fiscal spending na nangyayari. So you have your DBC, PDBC, sa mga tinitignan ko din, no, actually for commodities. So breaking out of this trading range as well. But ayun, no, you have sloping down, you have this MA100 nag-slope downward pa din. So if you're gonna look at your commodities in a broader perspective, medyo may bearish bias pa din naman. Di pa naman siya nagpapakita ng super lakas na galaw. Unlike what happened nung 2022 na ganyan, nag-breakout dito. So, ano yan, all-time high breakout yan. Then, nag-strong rally. So, alam nyo na yung nangyari dyan. So, that's our macro. Actually, hindi pa pala tayo tapos. We have this Fed liquidity benchmark na na-spot mo din, no, Mike? So, nice spot din na medyo risk on signal to for us, actually. So, last week, we have a liquidity injection around 30B, no? We have a liquidity injection nung last week. So, in lagging terms, that will serve as a tailwind for equities. So, pwedeng mangyari dyan, you have liquidity injections from the reverse repo facility, balancing out the stress coming from your DXY, your US 10-year yields na tightening yung effect niya, no, for financial conditions. So, binabalance out niya lang yan. So, depende yan. Actually, looking at the indices, no, our main indices, we can conclude that parang nagbabalance out nga, actually, di ba? Tama. So, parang nagbabalance out siya. Na dapat, itong mga gantong rally from the DXY, the 10-year yields, medyo ano na yan eh, dapat slam dunk na yan eh. Slam dunk pullback na yan eh, for me. So, last week, yung isa to sa mga tinitignan natin. Medyo, natatakot nga ako last week kasi Friday nun, around second half of the trading session, nandito pa rin sa 6.4 trillion yung ano natin, 6.42 trillion yung Fed liquidity benchmark natin. So, I'm assuming na putik mukhang strong risk off yung mangyayari sa markets natin. But, end of week, nagkaroon ng big spike. So, right now, reverse repo, medyo nag-ano din, nag-increase this week. But, pinaka titignan mo dyan, end of week na talaga. So, you have your TGA accounts, flatlining, so not in a spending spree ang ano natin, ang US government natin. Pwedeng pinag-iisipan pa nila saan nila gagastusin yung pera. So you have this central bank. Wait lang may tawag sa akin. Wait lang. Yan na, tinatawagan na ako ni Bossing. So I think magdi-dinner na kami. So quick na lang, no. So with our central bank assets for the Fed, medyo may uptick tayo na onte. May uptick tayo onte around 3.1B, no? Tama ba? Oh yeah, 3.1 billion. So that's our macro benchmark. So pointing us to a neutral state with your Fed liquidity injections neutralizing your DXY and your TNX tightening effect, no? Net tightening effects. So this is your earnings for this trading week. You have StoneCo releasing to be released today. Actually, I think na-release na, no? After hours, negative 10%. So that's kind of bad for your tech as well. So far, ito muna yung titignan natin for our macro. Sige, let's look at the market from a bottom-up perspective. Bilisan lang natin, no? So, momentum play, momentum market monitor natin. So, ito yung na-register nating data yesterday. So, you have a net advance decline na negative 804. May negative 804 ka na na names. So, you have 3,200 names or 3,100 na nag-decline. You have advancers na 2,300. So, for every 3 decliners, you have 2 advancers. So, that's quite negative. You have a negative volume spike as well. Printing red in daily momentum ratios. So, mas madami kang names na down yesterday. More than 5%. Looking at our 20-day structures, no, data. 3-day streak na negative to. So you have more names breaking below their 20-day structures or 20-day lows, basically, no. But significantly enough, you have this deceleration in rate of changes. So that's a good sign. So medyo nagpa-flatline ka na or may somewhat signs of improvements ka actually. So yesterday, 52-week high data natin, we printed a green, so a positive data in 52-week high, 52-week low perspective. So you have more names breaking above their 52-week high. So halos nasa neutral, ano na tayo, neutral assessment na tayo, no, based on what we are seeing. So a decrease in rate of change, medyo meron kang mga greens on net 52-week high. And actually, itong 50-day new high, new low data is quite negative pa rin. But you have this deceleration in rate of change. Ang ayaw nating makita is from 398 maging 500, negative 500, and then maging negative 1,000. So, or negative 800 muna, syempre. So, yun yung ayaw natin makita. So, above, below 20-day SMA, you have more names still below the 20-day SMA line. In terms of rate of changes for the past 3 days, so halos neutral lang din with a more bearish bias. Same with your weekly momentum. So all in all, in terms of market internals, no, for me, di ko pa na-repair, sorry, hindi ko pa maanuhan ng time. May mga improvements din akong ginagawa sa dashboard natin. Most especially dito, may mga issues ako na-encounter. All in all, so far, for me, momentum play signal, if you're a momentum trader, a swing trader, medyo risk off muna talaga. Risk off. But you can look for trade opportunities na selective. For example, post-earnings thrift play on good market sectors, good market segments, and groups, no, market teams. That's the idea based on market internals, based on our market internals. So you have a neutral mean index perspective, top-down perspective. Medyo slightly bearish on the macro, but neutralized by your net liquidity injections. You have your internals na medyo ano din, slightly bearish, neutral bearish bias, no. Okay, so to end this pre-market prep actually, no. Sige, tignan na lang natin tong heat maps natin. Just a quick look. Tama ba? Sana ba yung ating heat maps? Nako, yan. So, heat map. So, pre-market heat map na lang. Tignan natin. So, pre-market heat map. Lagay natin at 0.5. So, a sea of red actually, no? A sea of red. Medyo madami kang down this pre-market session. So, a bearish bias on this pre-market session. So, ayun, you have MSTR down negative 9%, you have SMCI down 2% halos, and AMD, along with your Coinbase down negative 5%. So, if you're trading on the short end or may short bias ka, yan, focus ka on crypto names na pwede mong i-short. So, in terms of market breadth as well, to validate that view, looking at the breadth screener, you have 161 names na up this pre-market session. Let's look at names down this pre-market session. Okay, sige. So, 161 versus 217. So, for every one advancer, you have 2 decliners halos. So, halos, ano siya, may bearish bias pa din, no? Medyo ganun. So, to conclude everything, bottom line is stay off the market muna, stay on the sidelines if you're a long only trader. Wait for better opportunities, wait for a better better signal, no, for the markets. Much better if we break above those key levels, no. The value area highs of your main indices before you redeploy your capital, no, in the markets. So, yun. Tapos na tayo. I hope na-prep ko kayo. So, this is a 34-minute video. Ingat kayo. God bless and goodbye muna, no, since, ano na rin, lunch, dinner time na. Yun. So, thank you, guys. If may questions kayo, chat na lang tayo. Yun. So, good night. Bye-bye. Good luck this trading, everyone.